Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're playing as Serbia. We need to start this war sooner rather than later. Seems like a good idea. We have dealt with the conspiracy. For now, at least. We pressed national mobilization. I think we might want to... Yeah, it's probably good, right? I think that's probably fine. I don't think delaying 28 days is that big a deal. We're not going to do any more training. We're done with that. Can I do engineer support artillery for the infantry? That's a good place to start. Let's see. What am I lacking if I do that? We have some support artillery and some towed artillery. So I'm going to try grabbing, I don't know, these guys. Can I do that transition? Not quite. I can do 3. That's pretty close. Alright, that's not a huge tech there. I am going to do interwar artillery, now that I am rolling with artillery. 1937 Dutch election! The Dutch do love their elections. Yeah. Probably want to push to here as soon as we can. And then, I actually think that, like, focusing on hitting up Albania first might be the play. Yeah, we just hold... We hold this front much as we can. Yeah, I'm debating just going screw it. I'm actually gonna train up. Alright, 150. Change civilian economy to mobilization. I think I might want to wait for that. Yeah, because it bumps it to early mobilization. And then it can let me bump to partial mobilization once I'm done. Alright. The Rising Sun. Traveling. Construction. Do we have enough artillery? I'm gonna maybe consider popping this guy over to infantry. Yeah. And then we could just do that. Icelandic independence? How might this affect the Atlantic? National mobilization. Time to cross the Great Morova. Can't form the military council. Oh well. We can now immediately go to partial mobilization. Indian Civil War resumes. Another civil war. The fall of Madrid. So falls the heart of the Kingdom of Spain. Vidovan! Serbia will never forget its heroes. Oh boy. That's not great. Lapchevic's speech. Though Serbia learns closer and closer to the war, not all in the Republic are eager for it. Today, on the podium before the Skupština, speech has been made by Dragutin Lapčević, representative of the Socialist Party of Serbia, an elderly veteran of socialist politics in Serbia. Lapčević was one of the founders of the Social Democratic Party of Serbia, to which both socialist and socialist workers claim primogeniture, and a critic of the legendary Dimitrije Tukovic. Even before the Weltkrieg, Lapčević earned fame as a vehement opponent of war and Serbian militarism, and today spoke the same purpose behind him. In his speech, the politician vividly detailed the loss which the Serbian nation suffered the last time they instigated a foolish war. An entire generation dead or wounded, and the few who remain have been forced to pick up the pieces. If they had sworn in 1918 to never suffer such a travesty again, then it seems that their leaders have completely forgotten those losses. Not only that, Lepchevik states, but the president and his government have lied to the entire nations about their motives, and the world as well. They claim they fight for the liberation of Serbs, but in fact they're controlled by an ultranationalist Kodrientite clique in the military, which will subvert democracy if it means sending thousands of Serbs to the meat grinder in Macedonia. The speech of the content, if it spreads across the public, is bound to galvanize the population and raise about doubt so close to the war against Bulgaria, and yet is it right to suppress the voice of an opponent and thus ultimately prove his point right? I hate what he says, but defend his right to say it. As dangerous as that is, you know, we'll have to muddle through somehow. Time to reduce the speed of the game. Let me, call my friends. Need to figure out how to, get rid of the jerks in charge. Yeah, that doesn't seem good. That doesn't seem to matter. Sure, I'll nationalize Sartid. Founded by Austria State Railway Company, STEG, Sartid, or the Serbian Mining and Smelting Industrial Company, is the main ferrous metallurgy company in Serbia, responsible for mining, smelting, infrastructure related to the process, most importantly railroads. Now that we're free from the Austrian watch, this company needs to fall in Serbian hands. Sure. I will take Russian divisions. Uh-oh. Yeah, there goes my fort. Yeah, there goes Thessalonica. Uh-oh, we have a time limit to capture Macedonia. I'll switch form of payment. Political power. Or guns, or manpower. I don't need them right now. Fourth Balkan War. Together for victory. Yeah. The Fourth Balkan War. In the first 2 decades of the 20th century, 3 Balkan wars shook the region. 2 were local affairs, fought only between the Balkan states themselves, whereas the third is more commonly known as the Balkan Front of the Weltkrieg. For almost 2 decades after its conclusion, worldwide observers expected it to last 2. After all, the Weltkrieg left Bulgaria a hegemon in the Balkans. Its 3 competitors shattered, held down by oppressive peace treaties for having chosen the wrong side, and divorced from much of their core lands. Surely, Europe, we draw it according to Germany's whim, there's no room for revanchist ambitions in the Balkans. It's clear today, as thousands of men across the region take up arms, these predictions were wrong. Was the weakness of the so-called Greater Bulgaria, which was set fall, or does the blame fall to Austria and Germany, having gone complacent toward the Balkans and not stopped the rearmament of the Balkan states? By now, the answer does not matter. Only bloodshed will ensue. While it seems unlikely the Fourth Balkan War will escalate into worldwide conflict, as none of the great powers treat it as a proxy war against one another just yet, there are still potential participants in the war lying in wait, and no one knows what the result of it will be. Can Bulgaria defend its fragile hegemony over the Balkan region and make it stand the test of time, or the Belgrade Pact achieve a new order in the Balkans, which it calls for? Forward! March, march, march. Macedonia, huh? Yeah, I could do that. At least, you know, I hope I could. Germany defends East Asia. Again? Oh, no, this is against the, against the other guys. Okay. Alright. The last Vojvoda. Not long after the beginning of the war against Bulgaria, received an unexpected letter from Petar Jovic, the famous commander of the Serbian army during the Weltkrieg. Of the four Vojvodas, the highest-ranking commanders in the Serbian army during the Weltkrieg, equivalent to field marshals, he's the last one still alive, and after over a decade of retirement, he's once again offered his services to the Serbian nation for what he describes as service in the name of the fatherland for one last time, while my body still lies it. Vojvoda Jovic has accrued fame as one of the most skilled military commanders in Serbian history, leading the exiles of the army after the occupation of Serbia, fighting side by side with the Greek and French in the Thessaloniki front, defeating numerically superior Austrian and Bulgarian forces. While he's 80 years of age and been out of practice for a long time, our commanders of the Serbian army advised to accept his enlistment, at least out of sheer respect for the legendary figure, for he was a symbol or a mentor of many of them. The Serbian army welcomes your command. This guy. Yeah. Bam. Anyways. Should probably speed up one more. I would love to have more manpower for more divisions. It seems like 2 is probably fine. Only need some infantry equipment, and I have the cash for guns. Stand by. Blast these fools with everything we've got. Four days, huh? How goes the war? We have inflicted more casualties than we received. Thessalonica is following this. The Greek situation appears quite dire, but, you know. I have no way of telling if, you know, what the situation is. Oh. I'm going to make a bet that is something I can do, and I will instead tell these guys to deploy in Montenegro. If the Albanians decide it's party time, you know, who am I to complain? Alright. I would love to capture this position. Maybe grab niche. Hey, the Russians are here! And that means so are the Germans, unfortunately. That battle does not seem to be operating in my favor. Actually, exploiting the situation in niche is basically ideal. Blitzkrieg. Or Footkrieg. We are war of maneuver now, boys. Okay. I love to surround my enemies and then destroy them. How much time? We have a race to Sofia. Man. That is not a good attack. I probably do want to give this guy Unyielding Defender. Want Offensive Doctrine. Unyielding Defender. That's kind of ironic, but whatever. Okay, that's it for the Hungarians. We now have a unified front. Capturing Scope would give us Macedonia, which is what we wanted. Anyways, how much can I deploy? Can I deploy my guys yet? Could bump them out, pop them out in Montenegro, pop them out in Kosovo. That's TBD. I think we wait for opportunities to present themselves. I think we need the manpower now more than we need the flexibility. How much more can we spare? We'll do that. These guys can hold the front. 27 days? Yeah, I think we're fine. The supply situation here is quite bad, so we want to capture this tile as soon as we can, which will be happening any minute now. Oh, great. Wonderful. You can hold the line there. You go here. You go here. You, I guess, can attack here. That's not doing anything, so let's not throw our lives away. Instituted joint command structure. Develop joint research practices. No text, whatever. Nice. We nationalized the thing. Still can't form the military council. That's annoying. I guess reduce consumer Montenegrin opium. Okay. We could support Suzor Insurance. The central office for the insurance workers, Suzor, was envisioned as an institution for the centralized implementation of social insurance across Serbia, and now can finally be put in place. Great, whatever, sounds good. So we can become the Suzor in. We are not probably going to capture Macedonia, but we might capture Sofia. Yeah, we annihilated a bunch of Bulgarian divisions there. We're now approaching that glorious 10-to-1 ratio, though the situation with the Greeks is pretty bad. And that really actually improves our supply situation. What we really want to do is capture this tile so we can thrust towards Sofia. Because, like, if we capture Sofia, it doesn't really matter. Alright. We're going to staff off his plan. And I guess the plan is going to be this. Alright, we are gaining plan preparation bonus. 10 a day. 9 days. Oh, well, that's easy. We'll do this. And then, we'll do this. That's an easy attack. This is a little sillier. There's some silliness happening. There we go. But now we sort of have a high ground type situation. Let's see. We can spend political power to get manpower. We don't need that. We could use more guns. More guns are more good. This is what I've heard in the business. The Ottomans have decided to support our enemy. That's kind of annoying, honestly, but whatever. I could take more tiles, but I actually don't really see the value in it. We're not going to capture Macedonia. Unless something silly happens. Which I don't know why it would. That would be, if something silly happened, it would be silly. We failed. Oh no. Oh nice, we did take this random tile. Didn't capture Macedonia. Oh, well. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm actually kind of surprised I'm not succeeding here. Oh, it's because the Ottomans. Right, I forgot. Excuse me. Alright. Well, I'm actually going to leave it here, and I will see you in the next episode where we figure out whether or not we're actually going to win this war we really need to win in order for this Let's Play to continue. Bye-bye.